Well, hello and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester with me, Mr. Linda Scandal, Mr. Mark Llewellyn and Mr. Michael Adams. How are we all?
Very well, thank you.
What's on the show today?
Well, you should be so lucky if you get to speak with Jamie Chapman in today's show.
That's right.
Yes, we do.
Also on the show today, we're talking with drag queen royalty, the one and only Sasha Velour. What else is on the show today?
We're having a chat with Robin Ince.
Scientific.
And we also have a charity popping in, don't we?
We do, and that is Coffee for Craig.
It's an amazing show. This is how your show's looking.
We're now joined by Robin Ince, who I know very well from listening to on the radio. And he is going to be talking to us about a show which is called 9 Lessons and Carols for Curious People. Just the title makes me curious, Robin. What can we expect?
Well, I started it in about 2006, and what I wanted to do was create a celebration of curiosity, really. So a lot of it is scientists, and some of them might be experts in houseflies, and some of them might be experts in black holes, and then also musicians and comedians. And the idea was to create a show where everyone almost leaves reeling, going, I don't know how many different ideas were thrown at me, and I've still got that song in my head. And I just wanted people, I almost want, as they leave the theatre, that they look up at the sky, and should it be a clear night in December in Manchester, that they will look up and they'll look at the stars and they'll go, wow, they look a little bit different tonight now because of things that I found out about them.
So obviously you've said this is something that you first developed back in 2006. How often, of course, do you work with this show, and of course, how's it developed since then?
Well, we've got more and more. One thing that we work very hard on is diversity. I think probably the first few that we did were probably overly dominated by, the kind of people you'd imagine were professorial and, in the traditional way. And now Manchester University is fantastic as well for the array of people they have in terms of their talent, scientific talent there. But that's the one thing I think that's most changed, is we think more and more about how to make sure that everyone in the audience sees someone that they think, oh, that person's a little bit like me. I can do, because I think science has had that problem of, being seen to be some fusty old men. So any child who's a fusty old man has always known that they could grow up to be a scientist. But others, thought, well, I'm not really sure. Is this the world I'm allowed into? So that's one change. And the other is just, I think every year it's been filled with more and more kind of love and wonder as well, because the love element is so important. There's so much negativity in social media, in mass media, in news media, that we wanted to make something which is open to everyone and hopefully makes them happier to be, alive in the universe.
Now, you're at the Contact Theatre on the 1st and 2nd of December. I know you have guests on the show. Who can we expect to see?
Well, my friend Josie Long is coming along, and Josie is one of my favourite people in the world, and I've been working with her since she was a teenager. In fact, I think the first gig we did together, she was like 17, and I thought I was old, but I was probably about 25. It's that kind of thing, and now we've pretty much caught up, and we're both middle-aged. Johnny and the Baptists, who are a fantastic group of musicians as well. Like I said, we've got loads of people coming from Manchester University as well, some really great names and great experts as well. So there's a lot. Every single night there's 18 acts, 18 mini lectures, beautiful songs, and quite a few of them are surprises as well. Even I don't know everyone who's playing. My mate Trent has booked everyone, and sometimes he doesn't tell me.
Right. Okay. And then is it back to radio? Have you got another series of Infinite Monkey Cage coming up?
Monkey Cage just started again. We started with octopuses, is the latest one, and we found out something very rude about octopuses. And then we've also got one of my favourite things to have, which is we've got an episode with 3 astronauts, and we're talking about how Hollywood looks at space. So we've got Tim Peake, we've got Nicole Stott, and we've got this great lineup of basically of people saying, well, actually, when I was in space, and there's nothing more exciting than that to me still, meeting an astronaut and them explaining what it's like to look back at the planet Earth. You know, just what a thing. That's the thing, is you often talk to astronauts and they say sometimes when you go up to the ISS for the first time, you think, shall I take War and Peace with me? Because maybe this will be the time I read it. And they go, of course, what you do every down moment that you have is you look out the window.
Absolutely, yes.
Quite incredible, isn't it? So it's coming to Contact Theatre. How can people come along and see the show?
Tickets are on sale now. The Contact Theatre, 1st and 2nd of December. Just go to Contact Theatre, go to their website, book tickets, and basically, if we ever make a profit, it's one of those things where we very rarely. I'm very good at coming up with ideas which are a great deal of fun for a lot of people, but I've never been very good at working on the financial side. But if we do make any profit as well, we always make sure that all goes to charities as well.
Wonderful
Fantastic.
stuff.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Robin.
Cheers, Robin.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, she's an absolute legend within the drag world, everybody. She's doing so fantastic, and she's about to bring us a brand new spanking tour in 2024. A little bit delayed than what we initially thought it was going to be, but she's here now. Welcome, Sasha Velour, taking over the entire world.
Hi, Belinda. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great.
Now, before we focus on the big reveal tour, let's go back to why you had to be drag.
Oh, I love drag. I love the chance to express myself on stage and without the confines of gender, of trying to look like a man or perform even like a woman. I see drag as letting us step beyond gender into the realm of fantasy and pure imagination. And then to celebrate the history of drag, this art form that's been around from the beginning of time and has always created a space for queer people to get together and experience joy and share it with everyone else, with our community and our families. So I just love getting to take part in that tradition.
Now, we've been waiting for this show for a little while now, I suppose. It was supposed to be with us around about now, I guess. It's being delayed now, certainly in Manchester, till March of 2024 over at the Bridgewater Hall. Is there any particular reason why it's been delayed?
It's a variety of factors, of course. There were some conflicts with my filming schedule. There are a lot of tours going on right now in throughout the UK and through Europe. And I wanted to improve the show and bring it up to the right standard and also expand the tour because I felt like we weren't reaching all of the audiences that we could with the original route. So a little bit more time made that more possible. And that way we can have even fuller audiences so that you get that big, sold out, beautiful spirit that we love at a drag show.
Of course, your book, The Big Reveal. It's my favorite line, actually, is it's the illustrated manifesto of drag. Tell us more.
Yes, I've got that right here. Well, it's full of illustrations. My day job before I was able to do drag full time was book design. So I got to lay out all of the pieces of this book, and it kind of felt like a full circle experience, returning me to my roots. But it's full of photographs, historical photographs with my annotations. It's full of drawings and cartoons. To me, drag is like a multimedia art form because we use our words and we also use our faces and our bodies and screens behind us and social media and everything. So I wanted the book to be multimedia too.
And of course, that book we can get our hands on right now. I'm hoping you'll be sending me a little copy.
It's available. The book is available right now all around the world, everywhere. So it came out over the summer. Yeah, perfect Christmas gift.
What are the three main tools that you put into a Sasha Velour show?
The three tools I put into a show: surprise. I love a reveal, and it's in the title, so I got to give it to you. And a different kind of reveal in every number. Like I can't do a wig reveal over and over again. I think that would get quite stale. But I do give you one good one in the show, and then I think reveals of a different nature. And then let's see. Humor. I think comedy is such an important thing. I like when it goes hand in hand with tragedy and drama. I think they make the perfect combination. And then honesty. I like to bring storytelling and speak to the political state of the world, speak to people's hearts, and just be really direct and real with the audiences, through all the fantasy and the makeup.
Now, within this book, you're referencing queens that have been, queens that are on the way up, fantastic drag queens from all over the world. How do you feel drag has changed?
Oh, but there's so much more drag, which is I think wonderful. And people are more comfortable and more knowledgeable about drag, which is exciting. Some people think they know everything and they don't. I think we're all guilty of that sometimes. But I was really shocked learning about the history, how much drag continues to change. It comes into popularity and pop culture and then becomes this like underground subcultural, deeply politicized art and community form again. So I think there's kind of never anything new in drag. We've been at the height of culture and then at the absolutely treated like garbage. And I think those cycles unfortunately continue to play out.
So what are we going to see in your show then? Now, describe for us what your show will envelop and what we can see within your show that's coming to the Bridgewater Hall, March 2024.
Well, it's a spectacular. There's over 12 costume changes and video elements that I've designed and directed that are interact with the performances. There's like a lot of lip sync performances, of course. That's I guess my specialty. And some dramatizations of sections from the book, a little theory about politics and drag, some stories about my family and my first introductions to drag, and then there is a special guest performance and a duet that changes each night, so to keep me on my toes too.
Well, we can't wait for this one. It's coming to Manchester at the Bridgewater Hall on the 13th of March 2024, and we are giddy for it. I'm sure you'll fill that venue. It won't be a problem at all. But for now, though, Sasha Velour, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Belinda Scandal. Wonderful talking to you. Legend.
Hi Manchester, don't miss the world premiere of I Should Be So Lucky, the Stockgate and Waterman musical, featuring hits from Jason, Rick Astley, Bananarama, and me, Chloe.
Well, I Should Be So Lucky is a musical that is doing so fantastically well here in Manchester. Honestly, it's just amazing.
I know, you're looking forward to going.
I am so looking forward to going. It's got everything that I like in it.
It has.
I just must remember not to join in. Joining us now is one of the stars of that show, is Jamie Chapman. Welcome to the show. How are you, Jamie?
I'm really well. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Now, I Should Be So Lucky. I mean, it sums it up within the title. It's obviously a musical that features lots of songs by Stock, Aitken and Waterman, pioneers of my youth.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you go dancing to them at the disco?
I'm older than you. I was already working.
Anyway. So, Jamie, tell us about the storyline within this show, please.
So, essentially, it's all about a girl who gets jilted at the altar. And instead of cancelling the honeymoon, she goes off on honeymoon with all her family. And it all sort of gets sorted out and everyone finds happiness. So if you're not happy by the end of it, we haven't done our job.
Oh, that's very good.
Doesn't that sound wonderful?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've got all the classic songs there. What are you performing in the show then, Jamie?
So I'm the manager of the hotel resort in Turkey where they all go. I'm Spencer. And I decided that Spencer comes from Cheshire. So I'm doing my very best Cheshire accent.
Yes. A bit of Presbury, I feel, coming in there. Yes.
Yes.
I can imagine him
Shots in
living there.
booths.
Yes.
Yes.
So what's his story arc within this then?
So essentially, he's sort of fairy godmother in a way, because what he does is he tries to enable other people to be happy. So I get to play a goodie. I'm really always baddies because I tend to do the comedy part, but I get to be a goodie in this, so it's nice. But yeah, he's a really lovely, fun character to play.
I think it's exciting, but I mean, this isn't just this isn't your first job, is it? Tell us a bit about what you've done in the past, because I mean, the list is quite literally endless.
Yeah, it's not my first rodeo, but I've done a fair bit. I tend to do a bit more screen than theatre now, so I'm coming back to theatre for a bit. But I suppose probably the most high-profile thing I did is I was a regular on Extras, you know, the Ricky Gervais sitcom. lovely, and Red Dwarf, and I've just been doing some other bits, telly bits. And theatre-wise, the last big theatre one I did was also with Debbie Isaac, who's the director of I Should Be So Lucky, with Nativity. So I did 4 seasons of Nativity the musical when it toured, which I really love. But I mean, I'm not normally in musicals. And so I don't do that much of the dancing and the singing. I'm doing more of the acting bit. But talented. I mean, they're triple threats. They do everything. It makes you sick. They can act, they can sing, they can dance. I mean, loads.
I'm normally exhausted when I go and watch these dancers these days.
Oh, I know.
And I'm only watching.
Yes,
I'm
I
only
know.
watching.
And how does it feel? Because I think you was your mum in sort of amateur dramatics, and was that how you got into it?
I would say my mum was the doyen of the Weymouth Operatic Society. And when I got into it, was at the age of 7, they were doing The King and I at the Weymouth Operatic. And they needed, the March of the Children, the Royal Children who have to come on. So they need hordes of kids. So I was dragged a bit reluctantly down by mum. And I hope you can't hear the washing machine. Our washing machine has just come on. So I hope you can't hear that. Anyway, I'll carry on.
No.
And I was coming on for this bit. And all the kids have to come on to the tune. Da, 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 bum, 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 bum. And you bow to the king, kiss Mrs. Anna's hands, and you back away. And that's all we had to do, 4 bars. And I remember it was a Monday night in February 1983 at the Weymouth Pavilion. And my bit was I had to come on, bow, kiss her hands, and then take a sticky sweet out of my mouth and put it behind my back. That was it. And all I remember on this opening night was coming up, bowing, kissing her hands. And I just remember it occurring to me that if I took the sweet out of my mouth, put it behind my back, and I looked away, I looked at the king, then I looked out front, I would get a big laugh. And I don't know why I knew that, but I did. And after that, hooked, absolutely hooked. So you can blame my mother for that in the Weymouth Operatic.
Should people come and see this show? Sell it to everybody.
Because it is fun. You'll have a really good laugh. You'll absolutely love the songs. It'll be a trip down memory lane, and you'll be on your feet by the end.
Are we allowed on our feet at the beginning?
Best to save it for the next thing.
Yes, I think it's like going on a ride at a fairground. Keep seated for safety reasons.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a hen party environment, judging by what you're saying. In a honeymoon situation with the best songs in the world, I would personally, even myself, find it difficult to stay sat in them velvet chairs.
Absolutely. But stay because you want to hear the fantastic talents doing it.
How long is it in Manchester for, Jamie?
Up until I think, is it 25th, 26th of November off the top of my head? I think then we're off to Cardiff.
Off to Cardiff.
Lovely.
Oh, well. That's going to be even more people getting up dancing.
It is.
It's so tricky, isn't it? You've got all these wonderful songs. It's going to be a nightmare to just stay. But I will be there next Tuesday. So I'll have a little drinkette with you afterwards, a little Horlicks.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you.
Yes. In the meantime, Jamie Chapman, thank you so much for your time today, and have a lovely, lovely rehearsal.
Such a pleasure. All the best to you.
Well, hello everyone in the studio and hello everyone watching back home. Okay, so I've just had an absolute nightmare. I've just had my lunch and it was really not the nicest stuff. So I'm going to go out into the middle of Manchester and finding out the best place to eat. So how about you guys follow me this way and let's go and find out where we're going to have my dinner. All right, guys, and now we're joined by
Courtney, Robin.
And guys, where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
I'd probably say Rudy's. I'd say Franco Manco.
Hope, where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
Rudy's Pizza.
I like Rudy's. The only place I've been to is Rudy's.
Rudy's. Now we're inside of Rudy's and I'm joined by Tina. How long have you worked here? 8 months. And what's your favourite thing about working here?
Well, the team, the guests, and the dogs. We get so many dogs.
And what do you think the favourite type of people that come in to the restaurant?
Well, all of them, like families, you get really nice cool people, anchors people. Everyone's kind of fun.
If you were to order any item off the menu, what would you
Which I have.
What would you order?
So I would go with a porchetta and I would add green cheese.
That sounds great. All right, we'll see you outside. By recommendation from you guys, I've got to try this pizza. That's a good pizza, that. I can tell you that. All right, guys, and now we're joined by
Spencer Black.
And Spencer Black, where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
I love my chicken. I always go to KFC, brother.
KFC, you heard it here first. Where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
I quite like Ben Brazil.
Ben Brazil. Where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
We've literally just eaten at the Burger Company, which is around the corner.
And where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
Crazy Pedro's.
Yeah, I would actually say Crazy Pedro's, to be fair.
I think Crazy Pedro's.
By popular demand, we are outside of Crazy Pedro's. Let's have a look inside. Now we're inside of Crazy Pedro's and I'm joined by...
Veronica.
Veronica, how long have you worked here for?
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Wow. And if you were going to order something from Crazy Pedro's, what would you order?
It would be probably Wacko Jacko.
What type of people do you get inside of Crazy Pedro's?
All sorts of ages, young, students, elderly, all sorts.
And would you say Crazy Pedro's is your favourite restaurant in Manchester?
No.
No.
Yes, of course.
Wow. What would you say your favourite restaurant is?
There is few. I think Fanny Jackson's, Crazy Pedro's, obviously. All the places around, the cool places. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, you heard it here first, guys. I'll see you guys outside. And now we're joined by...
Toby.
And Toby, where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
I would say Beatty. Used to be in Didsbury. I think it's now in Salford Quays.
Where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
In my opinion, tapas, El Gato Negro.
Now, I still cannot find anywhere, so it looks like we're going to have to keep looking. Chloe, where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
20 Sainsbury's is really expensive.
20 stories.
I'd say it's 20 stories.
Now, following your recommendations, we came up to 20 Stories to come and check it out, and I just mean, look at that view. It's absolutely phenomenal. We're right out on the terrace right now, where you guys can go and get some lunch. On the inside, they also do their evening meals as well. Now, I can tell you, I've had a few birthdays up here, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And the only thing I would say is that the drinks can get a little bit expensive, but if you're trying to have a good time, this is the place to go. Now we are joined by...
Darcy.
Grace. Gina.
And guys, where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
Viet Shack, but the one in Ancoats, not in the Arndale, because it's got the best vegan menu.
Mackie Mayers. Wagamama's.
I've been to this and that.
Yeah, this and that.
Making Mayo is pretty good.
Yeah, same for me.
I would go to this and that.
I agree with him making it.
Yeah, where's the best place to eat in Manchester?
Gotta be Mackie Mayer.
So following your suggestions, we hopped over to the Mackie Mayer right here. Now, this building opened originally in 1858. It was opened as a food market, and in the market's heyday, the mayor of Manchester was called Mackie, hence giving it the name Mackie Mayer. Since then, they've also opened another one over in Altrincham Market, which has had massive successes. Now, the place over here has got 6 different restaurants, 3 different bars, and it's also got a coffee shop as well. Now, one of the bars has just opened up, producing amazing cocktails right here. Might even try one in a little bit. Now, what I would say is that this place is absolutely brilliant. You can come here with some new friends, some old friends. It's great to go and meet up with people. It's family friendly. They've even got a little play place over there, and it's also dog friendly right here. Now, I might be going around having a look to see what some of the best food is, but I'll see you guys back out on the street. Well, there were so many good places to go to that I just could not decide, and now the weather's turned on me. I don't know if you can tell. So looks like I'm just going to be heading home and having a nice cooked meal. That's all from me. I'll see you guys soon.
Us, first of all, Coffee for Craig, where did it begin, and why is it so successful?
Wow, that was a lot.
Where do you start, Rachel?
Yeah, where do I start? I'm absolutely fine. We've actually entered our 10th year now. 10th year? Yeah, we've been going 10 years.
Wow.
And it basically started, my brother was street homeless in Cardiff. He unfortunately died in a car park on his own of a heroin overdose due to trying to self-medicate, having really bad mental health, and I think basically just living on the streets. He so the day I found out that he died, I put on Facebook, if you see someone sleeping on the street, give them a cup of coffee, say it was from Craig. And there was a massive snowball effect. So many people got in touch, loads of people gave us donations, and that's where Coffee for Craig was born. And 10 years later, we're still going, and we've got our own building now.
And that's, of course, something that I covered with you guys last year. And you're, of course, trying to do some renovations at the time on the place, and it was all sort of coming together.
Yeah.
But of course, you still need loads of help, don't you? So
we do.
Tell us what you're in desperate need of at the moment.
So basically, we run a 7-night-a-week drop-in for people sleeping on the streets, anyone experiencing any kind of homelessness and sort of very fragile accommodation. They'll come into us. They can get a hot meal, a cup of coffee, and staff there to talk to them, support them, and hopefully help them on their path to recovery, and to sort of plug the gap that the other charities working with people do. So we'll work within Manchester with all the other charities who work with people, the drug service, anything that person needs, and sort of help them. So coming in for a hot meal is the first sort of step in that, and the first step in gaining trust and getting to know the person really, and providing a safe, warm space for them to come each evening. So we desperately need food and coffee and sugar.
Because you've gone through a lot of it this year. Just before we were on air, you were listing off what you've actually gone through this year with various things. Do you want to just kind of repeat them again?
So in September alone, we actually served 2,300 meals to people coming in. So that's the kind of numbers that we're getting. We're getting up to 100 people a night.
Oh my goodness.
We went through 885 litres of coffee, 180 litres of milk, and approximately 90 kilograms of sugar. And we didn't even record the hot chocolate. So those are the items that we desperately need, and we're actually running very, very short of. We've got very little instant coffee, very little hot chocolate. Milk we're always scrabbling around to get, and sugar, but also we've now got a chef, which is absolutely wonderful, and luckily his speciality is ready, steady, cook. So he basically makes massive home cooked beautiful meals out of not a lot. So we always offer someone a vegetarian option or a meat option. We try to do 2 different meat options if we possibly can. So we need meat, we need vegetables, we need ingredients for cooking, and desperately coffee, hot chocolate, sugar, milk. But we also need funding as well to keep the service going and the help that we can.
Well, yeah, because you mentioned 100 people per night. I mean, you wouldn't, I suppose, as somebody that's lucky enough to have their own home, you wouldn't particularly take into account how many people there are sleeping on the streets and without their own home.
Yeah, it's the numbers are rising. It's getting to the point where it's really cold outside.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the people are put into temporary accommodation until they can find their own home, but a lot of people are put into places where there's no access to a kitchen, they've got no way of cooking, and also that can be quite fragile as well. And people, we've got people sleeping in their cars, and working full time. We've got people keeping on people's sofas, whereas, you can't always just rock up, cook a meal for yourself or do anything like that. And some people are sleeping on someone's sofa maybe 2 or 3 nights a week and then sleeping on the street. It's some people are getting either paid or their benefits sleeping in a hotel or a hostel for maybe a week, and then for the rest of the month sleeping on the streets, or maybe sleeping on someone's sofa, or scrabbling around and doing what they possibly can. So there's lots of different kinds of people who come into us and have particular different needs. And
I asked you last year, Risha, sort of similar questions what I'll ask you now. Of course, so much will have happened in the last year. What are your hopes in terms of taking the charity into next year? What are you sort of hoping to do? Obviously, last year we were sort of focusing on the building that was on being done. So what about into 2024?
So I think now we've got an industrial kitchen, we've got the building. We want to look into becoming a little bit more sustainable and a little bit more able to offer maybe a different kind of service to our guests. So we've got a chef. We'll be looking at some of our guests coming in as pathway volunteers, and that's where we offer opportunities for volunteering, learning new skills, learning kitchen skills, and hope that they can go on to the further employment. We work with a couple of other charities within Manchester who look at employment for people. So we're looking at running a job club, and like I say, with the skills within the kitchen, and sort of just giving that further help for people on their path to recovery. And then our ultimate dream is to actually get our own building. We have someone we've already had someone who's designed it, who can do the architect. We've got other charities who are interested in coming on board with us. We'll be looking at emergency housing within that. So a piece of land very close to where we are would be absolutely ideal. And obviously the funding to build it, and then we can look at sustainable sort of electricity, sort of stuff like that, look at workshops that we can do, and maybe hiring out to other businesses. So that'll be our ultimate goal going forward in the future. That's our...
It's strange times at the moment, isn't it, with everybody needing a little bit of extra money, but I should imagine that for those that have very little to start with, it's even worse.
Oh yeah, completely. We've got people, it's a choice between food or fuel, or rent and fuel. You know, we've got people who are really, really struggling. So we're able to facilitate that and work with people, give them food bank vouchers. The food banks that are around now, I don't know the actual figures, but I know they doubled. There's so many more.
Definitely.
People who can't afford their electric, you know, and are looking for warm places to go.
And as well, I won't get too political on this, but you may have seen recently a comment made about it being a lifestyle choice to live on the streets.
Certainly not a lifestyle choice. I'd like her to come and see and meet the people here and tell me what choice they have.
Yeah.
You don't choose to sleep on the street.
You wouldn't, would you?
No, you don't choose to go in a tent until you can make an informed choice and everybody has a home to go to. You can't possibly say people choose that, because they don't. They haven't got any choice.
So how do people get the help to Coffee for Craig then?
You can look on our website, you can look on all our social media. We're Coffee for Craig on all social media platforms. We have an email address, a phone number on our website. You can just get in touch with us. If you'd like to volunteer, there's a volunteer, because we always need volunteers, always, because it can be the difference between offering a full service to someone and a bare service, really. You can deliver to us. We're in Monday to Thursday. There's usually someone in from 10:30, and then every single evening you can drop goods off to us.
So the top 3 things that you'd like from our lovely viewers to come to you is?
Well, there's a bit more than top. Warm drinks. So coffee, hot chocolate, sugar and milk would be wonderful. And food and fresh ingredients, vegetables, meat, anything like that would be most welcome. And the usual warm coats, warm clothes, sleeping bags, sort of stuff like that.
Yeah, I imagine everything would be more than welcome.
Yeah.
For a brilliant charity like this. So, yeah.
Funnily enough, we have guests who, there's a couple of schemes that give people phones, but their chargers always go. So they always come to us to charge their phones, but we always run out of chargers. So phone chargers would be helpful. Carrier bags, anything like that.
Thank you very much, Risha. And if you do want to get involved, Coffee for Craig, all of the details can be found on their website. Thanks very much, Risha.
Oh, well, what a marvellous show, everybody.
Yes.
At the end of the show already, it has been jam-packed, absolutely jam-packed. We've got another one to do next week, though.
Do we?
Oh, we're getting all Christmassy next week, you know.
Yes, it's exciting.
We're off to a certain garden centre.
We are indeed.
We are indeed.
Yes.
We've also got a lovely VT from Izzy Bushell. She's going to be telling us what Christmas means to you beautiful people of Greater Manchester, plus a lot more. Join us next week. Make sure you check out the podcast on Sunday, though, for the unseen bits, because it's a podcast.
And I've got some chats with some gents from Neighbours.
Indeed, on the podcast. So make sure you join us then, only on Your Manchester. Oh, no, I've got a giggle.
Scientific.
That's correct. We've also got a lovely piece
Well, a very good evening. Well, a very good. Well, a very good evening, and welcome to each and every. In studio? No. Well, hello, hi. Yes. Hello, hi.
We're professionals.
Welcome to. Oh no. What's up with it? Also had a drop in into our studio from the one and only Alicia.